The growing calls across the nation to defund the police.
To end policing as we know it.
Off the charts violence in New York City. 11 people shot in just 8 hours on
This is
Sunday.
about the police officers who every single day put on that uniform and they run towards danger when we run away from it.
Oh, guns up.
Get it, y'all.
Why did that take you so long? Is there that big of a lag today? I feel like that took a long time.
There's a delay.
God, we gotta get rid of
I
that.
said it right when you said it, but there's a delay.
Oh, well, welcome to Failure to Stop Night Shift. This is the #1 podcast where police meets society and culture. You have stumbled in to our Tuesday night shift show. Every Monday, we're live with He Big Daddy and Mike the Cop, bringing you all the police-related news. On Tuesdays, we have Night Shift with the beautiful and audacious Andrea Uplate. Every Thursday, last call, all the news, all the other things in the news that you need to know about so that you don't sound like an asshole first responder to your civilian friends. It gives you something else to talk about other than dead babies and domestic violence. And of course, Friday, our flagship breakdown show with myself, Mike the Cop, and Drew Breezy. Got a lot of stuff coming after the holiday, throughout the holiday, lots of Christmas special things going on. But tonight, it's all about true crime. It's all about murder and mayhem. Tonight's show is brought to you by Manscaped 4.0. Promo code Wolfpack and also ghostbed.com/Wolfpack. Sleep so good, it's scary. Woo. Andrea, what's going on tonight, girl?
Yo.
I almost called you baby girl. I feel like
Nothing.
that's what real rednecks in the South do. They go, "What's going on, baby girl?"
That's when you call me Tina.
Tina, hey, pumpkin tits, come on over here real quick. Tell Daddy what's going on today. That's how Southern men talk. Actually, not Southern men. Southern
I think
rednecks.
I think we've had entire evenings where where I was called Tina by you.
Yeah, the whole night. Like whenever I get super drunk, for those of you who are just listening, and when Andrea gets drunk with me, I start to call her by her redneck name, which is Tina, because she acts like Tina. She grabs like lotuses off the ground. She like tries to kiss them. She like goes full fucking Tennessee. And so, I give her a name deserving of such behavior.
What can you say?
It's Tina. So, and then I talk like a Carl all night. Tina,
Yeah.
put the damn bug down, Tina. I done told you. Get
Put
Daddy
the
another
bug
beer.
down. Yeah. Well, man, nothing's going on too much over here. Just same old, trying to kind of come off of Thanksgiving and switch gears into Christmas. Work and kids and all the good stuff. I know you know what that's like. But so super fun thing. We'll talk about it again later, but difficult to look at pictures. Jonathan, if I may release his government name is drawn up some amazing some mock-ups, what do you call them, for different designs for different things. So we're going to introduce, we talked about it, I think, a little bit last week when Drew was on here with us. Some koozies, some coffee mugs, trying to kind of throw it out there, do some different stuff. The old school crew neck sweatshirts are back, so we'll do some hoodies, but maybe some crew neck sweatshirts too, t-shirts, baseball tees, all sorts of good stuff. But he's got some awesome designs for us, so we're just getting it over to the
We'll be ready for the new year when we relaunch the Failure to Stop 5.0. So it'll all be over there, and you guys can jump on that merch. I know I'm going to. I'm ready, man. We got new logo design stuff coming out. We've got new shows coming out. We've got more different structuring going on. Stickers. Failure to Stop 4.0 2023 is just going to be so killer, and I'm super excited. And it's just going to be even gorier, even grosser, worser, which is my favorite word. And man, this broken arm really makes it hard to do things with this microphone. So
welcome back, by the way.
Thank you. It was a tragic incident. I lived through it. I learned from it. And I'm a better person, frankly. I'm a hero, really. Just overcoming massive adversity, teaching my wife and kids what it's like to be the family member of somebody who only has one arm. So, they tie my shoes, wipe my ass, all the things. Help me up, help me down, put my socks on, take my socks off. And I really just wanted to show them what it's like to be the parent of a real disabled person. So show them what kind of Helen Keller's mom went through when Helen Keller was just a little girl.
It's very similar.
Very similar to my
so it's basically the same. So last week, some people were asking why we didn't have videos, since you video and document everything that happens at the skate park. While we don't have a video of this, and I told them that the actual answer to that is because this didn't happen at the skate park, guys. You guys spoke, and I listened, and I'm not taking it anymore. You know, he got mouthy one more time. We didn't film it. We felt like it would be bad for the brand, bad for the show. But it's handled. So just know that it's handled, all right?
Man, we support domestic violence here on Fair to Stop. We're all for it. As long as it's the woman beating the man's ass, we're 100% in. Yep, Tina got a little bit drunk, and I called her pumpkin tits one too many times, and she broke Daddy's arm. She broke Daddy's arm.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, she stopped calling me Daddy after that.
But it's a clean slate now.
She calls me Mr. Tansey even when I'm drunk.
So gross.
But what do you think people think? Because like we've done this in like Harris Teeter, and we've done it at bars, countless bars. I don't know, like we've done that.
The last time we were at Harris Teeter together, we were buying stuff for the show. It was for the meetup.
Yes. Yeah.
And he told the lady, the cashier, the sweet cashier behind the at the register, what did you tell her? That it was going to be a separate order because while we are still married, we are separated, and so are our finances. I think.
Yes, that's what I said. I don't know.
It was something like that.
It was something.
It's always something.
It's always something.
It was something like
I was like, I remember the cheese aisle being like, Tina, no, not that cheese. That's the one that makes me gassy. And this little black girl was like, she was like laughing, and she was like looking at me, and I was like, Tina, just no, get the Gouda. The other one makes my farts stink. And the little girl was like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? Like,
it's true.
What are these white people fucking doing?
If anyone wants to know what it's like to hang out with Eric in person, you know already. This is you already know. Yep. There's no surprise. Yeah. I promise.
Cheese, the other cheese that you picked out, that Irish hard cheese, it makes me gassy. I don't like it.
Sorry.
With what you know. You should know better.
Apologize. Well, so tonight, y'all, we're going to talk about the very in your face, all over the media currently case that's super, super tragic from Idaho, from Moscow, Idaho. It was about 4 University of Idaho students who were murdered about right at 3 weeks ago. It was on November 13th. And they lived in a house.
Does this have anything to do with Brittany Griner? Wasn't
Not
she
the
arrested
same.
in Moscow?
Right. Yep. Nope. But no cigar. So this has really made headlines because when it first happened, of course, it's so heinous and just so big and tragic. Keep in mind, this city has not had a murder in, I believe, almost 7 years. So this is very out of the norm for them, very atypical, very sweet town. They live just right off, not far from the campus of the University of Idaho. And as most, college kids do, these were all upperclassmen, so juniors and seniors. So the victims, I'll go on and say their names. It was 3 girls that lived there in the home and one of the girls' boyfriends. So it's Ethan Chapin, who is 20. This is if you're taking a look. We have a picture up right now. Ethan's all the way over on the left. He's the only male. He's 20 years old. That's his girlfriend, Xana Kernodle. She's 20. And then moving on, we have Kaylee Goncalves, who's 21, and Madison Mogen, who is 21 as well.
And
so
let me just say
Madison and Kaylee.
Madison and Kaylee look just like Sarah Hayland. Like, could literally be her sister.
That's just I think that's definitely the look for the college girls right now. That's what they're
Now,
doing.
they all look
They're
just
all
like her. She's on that Pitch Perfect, that new
good
Pitch
looking
Perfect
folks.
movie. Yeah, they're really good looking.
Yeah, and
Golly.
they are, and there's been nothing to be said in terms of like behavior, no high risk behavior. They were all good kids doing well in school, just all the stuff. So now Kaylee and Madison, the two that were in the picture over together on the right side, were best friends and had been since early childhood, since they were little girls. So these kids had all known each other for quite some time. They were all Ethan was dating Xana and spending the night. So, here's what with this case. There's multiple podcasts, articles, breaking news stories. They'll say constantly there's nothing new. Nothing's breaking. News articles since it happened, just because it is so heinous and it happened so fast, or it happened so just out of the blue there, particularly in that town. But this is one where definitely all the like internet sleuths and whatever, everyone's like, but there was this guy, and you can spend hours and hours and hours under these ideas that people have, and they're going with it, and it sounds reasonable, and it's been debunked. A lot of these things have been debunked a lot of the times. So we really only have a handful of facts. So we're going to kind of go over that and then just talk about all the what ifs, really, because we don't know a lot. And here we run in.
The true crime community is that these true crime podcasters like ourselves, granted we have some law enforcement experience, but I think it's funny that they have these theories, but they don't understand that they're theories, and they get very angry when anybody
Sure.
tries to question their theory. And
That
then
does
they get in these
happen,
like
yeah.
super internet battles that are hilarious to me, because at the end of the day, guys, everybody's just fucking speculating and making bad jokes while they do it. That's what true crime podcasts are all about these days.
Yeah. Yeah, and no one, we know what authorities have told us, and then we're gonna get in a little bit to one of the real quick. Yeah, so Imperial Girl just said, if you're listening, she said, okay, I honestly think it's a serial killer. This is like something out of The Killer Across the Table, Mindhunter, or Journey into Darkness. Potentially, and so that's what I was gonna say at the beginning of this. Authorities pretty quickly said that they felt like this was a targeted attack, and that it was that it was targeted, and that it was personal, and they've kind of walked that back. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it was the mayor who mentioned the word personal, which I feel like someone stepped outside of their lane, the mayor, by saying like something like that in a press conference. And so since the suspect or the killer was not apprehended immediately, and now 3 weeks have gone by, now the town is on high alert. So authorities now, on top of trying to handle this case and get in front of it, all they have is consistent. Everyone saying things like, "Oh, I think there was a flashlight shining in my bedroom," or "I was at the dry cleaners and there was a spot on the wall that looked like blood." So everyone is on such high alert that now they're fielding left and right, just all these calls, because the town is terrified. And so that's kind of where we're at. That sets the stage a little bit. So back on November 12th, just 3 weeks ago, we have the two girls, Kaylee and Madison, were hanging out together on the night of the 12th. And then Xana and her boyfriend Ethan, these are all the 4 victims, were doing their own thing. So Kaylee and Madison, we have that's the 2 on the right if you're looking. We do have some footage of them like at a food truck pretty late at night. There had been a football game that day. They were all kind of hanging out, they were all in sororities and fraternities. They were all going to kind of different houses, different gatherings, parties, whatnot, partying on the street, go to this food truck. There was a man who those 2 girls, Kaylee and Madison, met at the food truck, who offered to give them a ride back. He has been cleared of anything. The authority, he was at all involved in this whatsoever. So we know that they got back to the place a little bit later on in the evening. Then that's it. So as far as we know, they go back and they go to bed. We're going to talk a little bit about the house and kind of the architecture there, because it's a little interesting. Now, with Xana and her boyfriend Ethan, we don't know as much. There's like a 4 to 5 hour span that we don't really know where they were. So we know that they were at a frat party from like 8 to 9ish, but they don't get back home until 1:45. And no one has been able to track down yet where they were from 9 or 9:30 until when they got home at 1:40. Who's to say if it's going to be relevant to the case, but it's something we just don't know. I mean, they could have been, who knows? Who knows? So they all get back to the house. They all go to bed. And we know nothing else until 11, I think 58 the next day when 911 is called by the 2 remaining roommates. So this house has 3 levels. But when they talk about it, they talk about like level 1, 2, and 3. It's more like if you picture almost like a walkout basement. Like, so this is on like a train, like a hillside, like a mountainside, so to speak. So with the different levels of the home, you're getting like the different slope of the hill. So like on the bottom floor, you can kind of pull your cars around, but also they're calling that level 1, which you could, like I said, almost could call it like a basement level. So then if you were to pull up the road or up the side of the hill a little bit, you could also still walk into what's called level 2. It's not like your typical 2 stories of a home. Level 2 would also be, you could walk onto that porch and walk in a sliding glass door. And then there's a level 3. So it's more like a basement, ground level, second level, but they're calling it 1, 2, and 3. And we're going to talk about why that's important. So the 2 remaining roommates, the 2 that were not murdered in this, were down on level 1. And then on level 2 were Xana and Ethan. Of course, they're a couple. They were spending the night together, so they were in the same bed on level 2. And then above them, yep. So then above them is level 3, which is Madison and Kaylee. Now, this is important because they each had their own bedroom. They were sleeping in the same bed. This is not unheard of. Girls, they've been out drinking. They're having fun. Also, Kaylee was set to move out. So there's some speculation that maybe her room was a wreck. She might have had all her clothes and shoes on her bed. So that's why she was in Madison's room. And this is important when we talk about this potentially being a targeted case, why that's important in a little while. But so that's kind of the architecture, the layout of the home. So they all kind of come in at different hours of the night. The autopsies have shown they believe the murders took place between 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning. So at 11:58, I think it was the next day, the other 2 roommates have woken up at this point. They've all had kind of a long night, so they're kind of, stumbling around out of bed. Some other friends have come over. Now, this is important. Authorities have not released who made the 911 call. There's speculations that it did come from one of the other roommates' phones. It's neither here nor there in the sense that they've not implicated. In fact, they will go so far to say that they don't consider anyone else, the other 2 roommates or any one of the friends that were there at the moment, to be implicated in the crime. So
why would they not
they
release
call
who dialed 911?
I don't know.
That's super strange. Like, who gives a fuck?
Well, I think, and we're going to talk about this, but I think that there's 2 things. One, this is a town that has not had a murder in 7 years. This is not something they're actively doing, right? So that there's that. Maybe they're being overly cautious because they don't quite whatever, maybe whatever. Also, we talk about this every week, I feel like now, but there are just things that we don't know, right? There are things that they don't tell us. So they can say, we're not implicating any of them in the crime and still say, I'm going to go on and keep this one close to me and not.
Yeah, because I mean, we would say that all
maybe.
the time. It's like, oh, we don't really have any suspects at this time, but then you're like, yeah, motherfucker, we got like 3 suspects.
Well, that's what I mean. And so it's not for, right, exactly. And it's not for us to know. So that's, the information I give you is what they've given us, but I think we know better a lot of times in the sense that we can see through what potentially is the case. So they've not released who did it, but they on the other side of their tongue will say that they're not concerned that it was anyone there. Now, and we'll go over that a little bit too, like how probable or not that could be that it was someone there. So they call whomever it is, one of the roommates or one of their friends calls 911 at the next morning before noon, and they say that they think their friend is unconscious. So there's speculation on this too. Why would they say unconscious? Because we're going to talk about the manner in which these people died, and you would quickly know that that was not the case, unless there were locked doors. If they had locked doors and they couldn't get in, and now they know that all their friends are home, drunk, late from a party, maybe. I don't know. Now,
Right.
Xana and Ethan might have a couple. I don't know why Madison and Kaylee would have locked their doors, but all of this is speculation at this point. So authorities get there to do a welfare check and find all four murdered. They had all been stabbed.
Whoa.
Gruesomely stabbed, all in
No, they were
torso and up. So
were they all four? You said they all four were in the same room? Did I missed that.
no. Yeah, so you have
The two girls sleeping together in one room, right? And then the other one was
so there's right. So there's the bottom layer with the two survivors that were not affected by this. Then you have level 2, and that's where the couple, the boy and girl, were sleeping in one bed. And then there's the level above them,
right,
where the two girls were sleeping in one bed.
Yeah. Okay.
So there were 2 dead on level 2 and 2 dead on level 3.
And they find them all at the same time?
Yeah. I mean, when they came in to see, I've got for anybody who wonders, a really super scientific layout of, I basically am an engineer, and here's my blueprints.
We can tell from your awesome tattoos. Like, is that an engineering tattoo? I see a new tattoo there.
Okay, thank you. That's the house layout. You like that? 1A, 1B, 2A, kitchen, 2B, 3A, and 3B.
God. If you're driving in your car, blow your fucking brains out right now, because
that's my research, folks.
Oh, God. So they knock on the door. I have a question though. Who called? So we don't know who called. Does the person who called, does 911 know who called?
Yeah, authorities know who called.
Okay, authorities know.
No,
okay,
I think they know, and they're just not telling us.
So they go to like one room, and so I'm assuming both rooms must be locked, and they don't know that anybody's dead. So they ask for a welfare check. So the cops come over, they do a welfare check. They do a bunch of knocking, a bunch of shouting, ask if anybody's got a key to the room, probably call the landlord, I would assume, to get a key.
Maybe.
Unless somebody has a master key somewhere. But that's normally how a welfare check works as a police officer. That's how we did it. And then you would give ample commands very loudly, and then you would open the door, and then bam, they're fucking dead. Once you find the first one's dead, you don't necessarily, do they know that there's 2 doors locked at this point?
I would assume that the roommates that are living there have said, my 4 friends, like this door, and
nobody's opening their doors.
Nobody's opening their doors.
That's wild. I mean, I don't know, because I've had roommates and would just it would take me days to notice that they weren't there. It'd probably take me over a day.
Most of these are all girls, though. These are all girls. They're going to be all in each other's business. Yeah.
Sure. And so then they got to go and open up the other door, find that the other one's, dead. And you said that they're stabbed.
So yeah, so they were all stabbed with what they're calling a fixed blade knife. In fact, they will say that it's more of like a K-bar.
It's almost like kind of like a crime of passion.
Well, if you're not familiar with
a lot of times
K-bar,
when you get involved in like stabbings and shit like this, it's like maybe like an act or something. I don't know. Like usually it's somebody close, like it's personal. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. That's generally the demographic there, right? But so this was what they call this is oftentimes, it doesn't have to be. You can go to any store and buy this. It's also associated with like a military issue type knife. It's going to be like a single edge knife. So it's going to be you got one back there. It's the dull on one side. It's going to be generally, yep, there it is right there. If you're looking,
it's a K-bar. Military issue.
So. Yeah. So a single edge blade is what the wounds indicate. So here's where things get a little funny. So authorities get there, they see that they've been and stabbed, and like I said, all torso, chest, and up. So it's it's going to be a pretty bloody scene.
Ooh.
We've got 2 on one floor and 2 on another floor. Okay, so we have a few questions. I saw someone ask. Hashcat said, "How do they? How do they know it was a K-bar?" I I can't say that they didn't say that it's for sure. They're saying reminiscent of, like they held that it was a single edged fixed blade, and maybe they're looking at it, right. Those are generally around the same. Those around, what would you say, an inch and a quarter wide, inch and a half wide blade, inch and a quarter.
I mean,
Maybe.
K-bar is a pretty standard fucking, like, it's a standard, pretty fucking standard utility knife. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
you get them when you
Yeah.
join the military. You gift them. It's like, I don't know, like my son's.
You
their
could go
first
to.
knife
You
was a
can go
mini
some. You
K-bar,
could go. Yeah, I was gonna say you can just run to the store and grab something and knock off K-bar. Maybe it's not that brand, but that's the same idea.
Now, is Moscow, Idaho? Is that northern Idaho?
Don't ask me. It's where University of Idaho is.
I'm just saying because, like,
So ask
northern
Jonathan,
Idaho is
are these
like,
your parts?
I know that, like, Idaho is like the last great frontier, and so a lot of people just think Idaho is this flat potato land. But I mean, Idaho has got like some real survivalistic, like Alaskan type qualities to it. Like
Sure.
it's the last frontier on mainland America. A lot of people call it. So if it's northern Alaska, it's probably every redneck. I guess you can have rednecks in the mountains of Idaho, but any mountain man in Idaho is probably gonna have a K-bar or something similar to it. Not an uncommon. It's not an uncommon knife. So
No.
if somebody got stabbed
No.
with it, there's probably lots of other autopsies that you would look at and you'd be like, "Oh, this is a fucking." I mean, you know what a cake knife is by the time you've done a lot of autopsies. You know what a cake knife versus a, K-bar.
Yeah. So, so authorities get there, find the scene, find what's happened. Well, that's what I was going to touch on a second ago, is that Hash also asked why the dog didn't alert anyone. There was a Labradoodle named Murphy there on the scene. At first, that was the question. And then later, we've since learned that he was locked away in a whole different area of the house. And depending on the dog, I've had a dog that if he was somewhere else on the other side of the house and old and fat, he wouldn't have been barking, probably. I mean, he barked at nothing. So
As long as you fed him, he's fine.
he was fine. Yeah.
Just leave him with pizza.
So,
but my thing here, another thing too, is like, these are college sorority folks, frat folks. Like, I mean, are we like assuming that they're fucking wasted coming home at 1:30 in the morning?
I mean, you could. They're coming home late. Who knows? They're coming home pretty late at night.
I mean, I'm just saying you might like sleep through all that shit. Like, when I'm
yeah, it doesn't.
wax drunk, I'm not waking up because the dog's barking.
Yeah, exactly. You could sleep through the dog barking, or you could be the 2 that survive that are on the bottom level and sleep through the people above you. So that's why I made that super realistic rendering of their home layout that I just showed you all, because so we're gonna.
And let's face it, they're fucking college kids, so they're all on Ambien because they can't fucking sleep because of all the stress of college life.
Is that what they do?
Yeah, they put the little fucking ear things in and the little noise reducers and the Ambien. I'm telling you, these kids are insane these days with all this bullshit. They can't do anything without some kind of a medication. Now I'm judging, I'm going on a rant. It might not have been the case here, but man, it's like every college kid I run into was like, they can't sleep without Ambien. They can't study without weed. They can't get by without 6 cups of Starbucks. It's like, man, there was a time when nobody needed any of that shit to get through their day.
I always
sorry,
needed
is that
coffee.
you? Is that you, Andrea? She's like,
no coffee. I always needed coffee.
You just described my life. I wake up with 6 cups of coffee. I do my weeds. I do my marijuanas in the afternoons, and I do my Ambiens to go to sleep.
Ew,
Fuck you, Eric. But you're also 55, so like you're allowed. You're at the age where you can be doing that shit.
I have my pill organizer. Days of the week.
I bet you do too. I bet you fucking do. I bet you do. I bet it's in your bathroom. It's on that shower ledge, that tile shower ledge of yours.
Sitting
right up there.
I do not. But so what I was gonna speak on is there's So we're just going to call it level 1, 2, and 3. Okay, level 1 is where the surviving roommates were sleeping. And so 1A and 1B are going to be their bedroom locations. That's important. 1A was under what we're going to call 2A.
Okay.
And then there was a kitchen that separated 2A and 2B. It's almost like 2B was an add-on, like an add-on bedroom. It kind of didn't flow with the rest of the home. Threw it on at the end. So the 2 roommates are in 1A and 1B. The 2, Ethan and Xana, are in room 2A. Now, 1B falls underneath. I know this sounds weird. I had to kind of write it. That's actually why I wrote it down, because I was reading and listening about this myself, and I had to kind of see it. But 1B is under the kitchen, and 1A is under 2A. And it just falls to that they easily could. It would make sense that they may not have heard what was going on right on top of them. So then it would be the level 3, level 3A, and 3B bedrooms, and the 2 girls were both in Madison's bed. And that's important because as time has gone on, they have finally said that they do again think that it was targeted. Now, the father of Kaylee, he's started to be pretty outspoken. He has gone on his own to hire or work with a private investigator.
Oh, please tell me it's Jim Terry.
I know. It's not. Well, I don't know. He hasn't said who it is. But Dad's getting is very outspoken. And and here's what. So we sit back and we talk about this stuff every week, and I think it's pretty obvious to us and a lot of our listeners that we know that there are going to be a lot of things that authorities know that they are not telling the families. And we know that that's for sure a frustration for the families, but there's a reason for it. And it's for the betterment of the case. And we talk about it every single week. Now, that's one thing for us to say and think about every week. It's different when they're living their lives and out of the blue, their child is ripped away from them. And they want answers now. And so Hashcats, do you want to elaborate on that? He said the dad is a suspect. Is it because he's been so outspoken? So
the dad didn't fucking stab his own daughter and everybody else in the room.
Yeah. So the dad basically has said, I was listening to an interview with him yesterday, and he said, okay, the one thing, let me back up. What authorities have recently said is that Kaylee has significantly different wounds, not different from a different type of knife, but they were more gruesome and more brutal. Her attack was different. So then when they say that someone was targeted, we're of course take, your quick thought is going to be that Kaylee was the one targeted. But that's all they've really said. They didn't say that her wounds were different. They said that that there was probably a target. The dad has come on to say that Kaylee's wounds were different, and he is starting to get angry to the point where the mother's telling him to kind of like to calm it down, to just stop. And he said, well, I know it. He said, I paid for this. If everybody wants to get mad that it was leaked to me or that whatever. Okay, maybe that's what he's talking about then. I'm reading your comment, Hash. So he's saying, I paid for this. I know what I'm talking about. No one leaked this to me. This is because I paid for it on my own. If they don't want to talk, if law enforcement doesn't want to talk, then I'll talk. So, and I hate that because I want these people to have answers, but I hate to skirt around law enforcement in the moment and then start releasing information that they very likely are consciously not releasing. But so that's what we do know that's a little bit different in the last few days than has been in the last 3 weeks, that Kaylee's injuries were significantly different than the rest.
Somebody in the chat's mentioned that she had a stalker at one time. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, that's been debunked. She used the word stalker, I think, flippantly, and she said, I think I'm being stalked by these guys. And they followed up on it. They looked back at security footage. She had gone to a place of business, and these 2 guys were there, and they said that they go there to try to find girls. And they went there and they talked to her in there, and I think they followed her out to her car. I think they were being creeps, but that's as far as it seems to have gone, and police have dismissed them in the case at all.
That's interesting. Now, I mean, do you think that the thing that's off the wall here is why did they choose the 2 downstairs and the 2 upstairs and leave the other 2 out of it? Is it because they were all out together?
They were not. So they weren't out together. The 2 on the middle floor were out doing their thing, and the 2 upstairs
Right.
were out doing their thing. Now, another thing is, and this is what I wanted to speak on earlier, when we talk about Kaylee being in Madison's bed, and earlier I said there's a reason that's important, is because now we're talking about Kaylee's wounds were significantly different. So if Kaylee was the one that was a target, she was in Maddie's bed. So, like, was Maddie the target? Kaylee was Maddie. It's hard to tell, and these girls look very, very similar.
Right. Like, is it like an
they're
estranged boyfriend or something that thinks that they're
right.
cheating?
So
But
they're
then you
both
would think that he would know that she's not in bedroom on the middle floor.
well, he killed
You know
them
what I mean?
both.
Like,
I mean,
I was thinking it's like what if you walk in, you see your girl in with
oh,
another dude, and it's in the middle of the night, and you're like, "Fuck you," and you start stabbing. You're like, "Oh shit, this isn't my girl. This isn't my
and you're just
guy."
gonna
And
go
then he
through
goes back
3 more?
upstairs,
No.
opens up the door, and he's like, "Oh shit, she's in bed with another," and he starts stabbing, and it's just 2 chicks. Like, I don't know.
Right.
So probably not an
Yeah.
estranged boyfriend because he would probably know where her room's at.
And so
I just
speaking of
strange that they
boyfriends,
chose the 4.
well, right.
It's
And
almost like
and
they
so
didn't know who the target was, or they were looking for the target, and they went to the
well,
middle
and
room first. Sorry, go ahead.
no, you're fine. There is a delay, so I'm not trying to interrupt you. So when you look at this house, there's some woods that back up to it. So there's definitely opportunity to lie and wait or be a bit concealed. This isn't out in the boonies there, but there's kind of different they have a decent sized lot. So there's around like quarter to half acre lots all the way around. So, these houses aren't on top of each other, but they're not isolated either.
Right.
There's a question okay, so doctor says there was no defensive wounds. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but what I've seen is that autopsy results have said that we hear some of the victims had defensive wounds. My assumption would be it'd be the second person killed in each one of the beds. I don't know, but
Right. Call me crazy,
call me crazy, but
probably hard to
they've
sleep
not.
through somebody getting whacked up beside
Yeah, I mean,
you.
unless the throat was slit first to render someone unconscious immediately, and then you get to work. I mean, I don't know how else you do that without waking the next person up. Okay. So there was
Before we go
ladder.
any further, Santa baby, it must be a holiday miracle because the sponsors of today's show, Manscaped, are providing the tools your man needs to stuff all your stockings, if you know what I mean. That's right. This holiday season, Manscaped has vowed to make sure your man's tree is standing tall with 2 presents underneath. Trust me, ladies, Santa's cookies aren't the only thing you're going to want to get your hands on this holiday season. Have him join the 7 million other sexy lumberjacks who use Manscaped and get 20% off plus free shipping at manscaped.com. Promo code Wolfpack. Oh, baby, is it cold outside? Ho, 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 ladies. Naughty or nice, 'tis the season for your man to perform. And I'm not talking about gift giving. Listen. I'm a manscaper. I've been sponsored by Manscaped for like 3 years now. I was sponsored by Manscaped when I was with Drinking Bros. I'm sponsored on this show by them. I don't know what I would do without my lawnmower 4.0. I think that Manscaped probably gets me laid an extra 4 times every month. When you got clean junk, your girl's going to want to get with you. Manscaped's best-selling products is the Performance Package 4.0, which is at the top of every man's wish list this year. I love the whole package is phenomenal. Inside, you'll find their lawnmower body trimmer. I dare say, best trimmer on the market for his balls, back, chest. The list goes on. The Weed Whacker grabs your nose and your ears and all the things. Let's not forget the famous liquid formulations, the Crop Preserver, the little ball deodorant, so you don't smell like balls after the Christmas party, right? You know what I'm saying? Everybody gets a jibski or a handy J at the end of a Christmas party, but not if they got stinky jingle bells. You're getting a gift for yourself and for him because you're going to benefit, ladies, from his manscaping. Just like our other sponsor, GhostBed. It's the gift that keeps on giving. You both get to enjoy it. All right. Go to manscaped.com, man. Use that promo code Wolfpack. Tell them the Wolfpack sent you. 20% off right now. Free shipping at manscaped.com with promo code Wolfpack. Santa, forgive me. Sometimes it's okay to be on the naughty list. And I get a little bit carried away with these ads. And next up, we've got GhostBed at ghostbed.com/Wolfpack. Sleep so good, it's scary. GhostBed was with us from the very beginning. Huge supporter of veterans, first responders. Their beds are made in the good old, help me out here, USA. We absolutely love their beds. They have the cooling technology so that if you get hot in Idaho, you want to stay cool, sleep on a ghost bed. In this case in particular, ghost bed is negative, but in all the other cases around the world, a ghost bed is a perfectly amazing thing that helps you get the sleep that you need. Right now, they're offering 40% off. You can get the adjustable base. You can get 30% off of everything else. You can bundle your package. So if you want it all, I want it all. I want it all. And I want it now. Like their cooling sheets and their cooling pillows. You can get the best bang for your buck. Right now, they're offering 0% down, 0% finance. And that's if you have Dr. Schlitzlick's credit, because he's a dentist, not a real doctor. Just kidding. I have no idea who that guy is in the chats, but I've enjoyed what he's had to say so far. Go over to ghostbed.com/Wolfpack. It's another one of those gifts that just keeps on giving, baby. Back to you, Tina.
I know you were on pain medication last week during our show for your shoulder or for your arm, but I don't know if you heard my golden bed ad, but it basically went like this.
I did.
They're made in the USA.
Yep.
They have an adjustable base and they have sheets and stuff.
Oh, that's a real good ad read. I'm sure we sold a lot of ghost beds for a company that truly supports us more than anybody on earth, who literally pays our salaries. And
I said it really kindly, though.
You should have said, like, buy a ghost bed and I'll show you my tits. That's it. End of ad read. Go to ghostbed.com/Wolfpack. Get your ghost bed today and I'll show you my tits. Cha-ching, 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 cha-ching.
People start like returning beds they bought 6 months ago.
They want to see them danglers dangle, baby.
People will be
Watch
like,
them
can
hit the floor.
can I return this? I feel gross having it. So we know that FBI and state police are assisting local police in this. Let's see here. What have we maybe not touched on? So there was a small ladder propped up to the second floor there. There's been talk of potentially someone using a tree to get to the third level. There's a sliding door there that could have gotten into. There was no forced entry. So I should have said that ages ago, but there was no forced entry, which to me doesn't mean a whole lot. It doesn't even necessarily mean that you knew them. I think they could have just been negligent and locking their stuff. I mean, yeah, and there's so many, like I said, if you go down there, the speculation has run rampant on this one, but that's it. Like, those are the facts, and it's horrible. It's bad. The dad is, I mean, I think there's going to be that one parent that's comfortable in front of the camera, or you know what I mean, that's like the out loud parent. I don't think that implicates him in anything at this point. I think he's just, until we know otherwise, I think he's just super, of course, upset, and as they all are. There's been
you
some.
kill one of my kids, I end your entire fucking bloodline. So I don't know that I would be the most boisterous parent, but I would be watching for every detail to come out. And as soon as I figured it out, I would try to get there before the cops did. And I'd make it heinous, dude. I'd do some real Viking shit. You know what I'm saying? Some real fucked up Viking shit. Like that whole like bird caging thing, like whatever they call it. We talked about it one time in our execution episode. I'd do those kinds of things. They'd make a movie about all the gross shit that I did.
Yeah. I just don't. So there have been people who there are other like college town massacres over the years, right? So people have compared it to the Gainesville Ripper. That's different. It's different, and like his MO was different. So Gainesville Ripper was more like he staged bodies. He killed, I think it was five students over the course of 4 days or something like that back in 1990. He's since been executed for this, but he staged these bodies. He sexually assaulted them. There was no sexual assault on any of these victims. Gainesville
I mean, it
Ripper
sounds
also
like
did.
somebody was really fucking mad. You know what I mean? Like that makes
Yeah.
you some really bad. Now, Hash Cats, he can't get off of the saying off the wall things. I don't know what he said, so maybe I read what he said and I'll put my foot in my mouth here in just a second. But like, dude, I can't fathom having my daughter murdered, and I don't know what kind of hell I would cause this world if the sins of this world allowed for my daughter. Because one, I would have raised my daughter by the time she's of age that I will know and trust that she makes good decisions and she's always doing the right thing. And so if society allows through its course of, you know, the degrading circumstances of this world that we live in, if it comes to that and something like that happens to my daughter, I don't know the hell that I will bring upon this earth and to the people around it. I really don't. So I don't know what kind of off the wall shit this guy says, but like in my brain, I'm not even sure if you would call me Tansey anymore after that. I mean, I don't even know what kind of a monster I would turn into. I have no idea, but I
Right.
would leave this world on that mountain, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'd be curious. I mean, all the stuff I heard from him was just he's angry. So he's coming out with strong emotions and anger. Okay, so he's saying there have been 5 similar cases of women killed by
Ooh,
man in black
the
hoodie
plot
with big knife fall
thickens.
asleep the past 2 years in eastern Washington State and Idaho, but
Oh,
police are not mentioning this because it
interesting.
wasn't in this town. And there is that. I've been reading on that some as well. I think were those not all women? I thought they were all women.
Well, in this case, you only have one dude and 3 chicks, so I mean,
Well,
maybe
unless
that
the
was just,
dude was an accident, but
that's what I'm saying. It's like maybe, you know, for what it looks like for me, and I mean, of course, I don't have any evidence, and I'm just doing the whole true crime thing, which is just speculating out of my ass. But my own personal feelings on this is the dude didn't know. The guy didn't know whose room to go to. So he sees a room with a chick
right.
in it, assumes that's the chick he's looking for, gets to work, realizes, nope, not her, goes to the next one up. Ah, here she is. And she happens to be sleeping with another girl. So I got to kill the both of them too. But I mean, he was
Well,
there for her, or she was there for her.
and especially,
Probably OJ, to be honest with you.
well, I was going to say, especially if he's been watching, right? This is a house full of 5 girls. The guy doesn't live there. So it's a house full of, or excuse me, yeah, 5 girls. There is a 6th person who's on the lease who wasn't currently living there, and they've also been, they're not worried about them in terms of the case. But yeah, so 5 girls live there, so it could be, you know, he's not expecting a young man to be there.
It's a man, baby.
What's mine? So that's kind of it. I'm happy to
Well, I
talk
hope
about
they
that as
catch
long as
this
you guys want
fucker.
to. But oh, I
I mean,
know.
I
Oh
hope
my
they
goodness.
catch who did it. I mean, like, hope this isn't another one of those Delphi murder, you know, ordeals where we got to
Ugh.
wait 5 years to figure this shit out. But now they're saying there's definitely a fucking second person involved, which is what the PI said on our show that everybody hated. So there's that in the Delphi updates. What is this FedEx shit going on? Are we just doing a special video on that? Or are you
Wait, where
covering it
did
and
you
everything?
say? Where did you see that there's for sure a second person? Was that as
I
of
mean,
like
it's
2
not
days
for
ago?
sure, but they're like definitely talking about that there might be a second person or indicators that there was a second person. I read like a whole article about it, like maybe yesterday or day before yesterday.
Yeah, there's still speculation there could be. I don't think that they're honing entirely for sure.
I think
And
there had to be, frankly.
you don't think this guy? could have done it alone?
I don't know. I think I
Okay.
don't know. I mean, there's a lot of evidence. I mean, I think it could go both ways. I'm like 50-50 on it, but like I would not rule it out, is what I'm saying. Like I definitely
I'm
wouldn't
not
rule
ruling
out
it
the
out.
possibility. Like I think it's very probable that there could have been two people. Very probable. Very easily.
Yeah.
Like I think you're
I'm
just
certainly
throwing darts at the dartboard at that point.
I'm
But for those of
certainly
the people
not
that are out there, they're like, there's not two fucking people. He did it. Why would you say it with so much confidence? You have no idea. Like there's so much evidence there that you could sway both ways of there being two people versus one person. There's no way you could definitely say, and that's the problem I have with these true crime sleuths is that like it's all fun and games, but they all go cut each other's throats or send each other. It's like I get more nasty emails from other podcasters in the true crime genre than I do any fans because they're just like, I can't believe you would say that there was, you know, blah, blah, blah. There's definitely not. And you're just like, dude, shut, like, come on. Like, you don't know. And I don't know, but I'm very transparent about saying, I don't fucking know. And I was a cop for 8 years and I can't even tell you how many homicides I worked. It's gotta be probably, I don't know, close to 80, 60 homicides, like 60 to 80 some homicides I was directly, you know, involved with or working on or that happened in my area.
So I'm definitely not discounting that it could be two people. I'm not saying that at
Right.
all. Also, I want to say I've gotten weird messages. I've not gotten hate mail from true crime podcasters.
Oh, yeah,
So
just
I'm
wait,
glad
just
they were
wait.
sending it to you.
Yeah, well, they sent it to Failure to Stop. They don't send it to
Oh,
Air
okay.
Tansey. Send it to Failure to
Okay.
Stop. Which, by the way, you have the login access to. You can help me knock down those messages any fucking time you want.
Yeah,
Anytime. I gave it to you. I gave it to Drew. I think even Jonathan Bates has got it. Not one of you motherfuckers has jumped on there.
Okay. But so on Delphi, we talked about this, and I don't know if your pain meds got the best of you last week by the end of the show or not. I know your
100%. My phone
died. Yeah.
died and I died.
Yes,
Literally.
that's what I thought. So we did talk about this, and the biggest piece of information we got from that, well, I say the biggest piece, but what kind of hit me the hardest in that was in the probable cause for the search warrant that was released, and that's what we spoke on last week at the end of the show, was that after all that time, we got the clip that said down the hill, and then 2 years later, we got the clip that said guys down the hill, and we heard nothing else. What we've learned in that probable cause search warrant is that he says guys down the hill, and then you hear one of the girls saying gun. And that's all you hear. And then all they've told us is that the girls then proceed down the hill. They follow his command. So he did use a gun to get them to comply, which is what I think we had spoken on and speculated about. So you have to have gotten them down the hill somehow. And so I think he brandished a weapon. Well, he did. So to speak on him being solo or with a partner, someone could have been waiting down there. But at this point, he has them together going down the hill with a gun on them. So anyway, that was that. Either way, I think that I was just having a hard time implicating one person who's already dead when we don't know anything else yet. That was my only issue with that last time. But I'm not saying that there can't be two people.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't wait to see what that guy has to say about not Casey Anthony, John Benet Ramsey. He's coming out with the whole John Benet thing. He was actually on Court TV. Did you see him on Court TV?
I don't.
He was on Court TV, and he actually had 2 photographs from the crime scene of the clothing worn. And so
From Delphi?
now from Delphi. And
has that been? Is it something that's been released? Like that he should be showing?
I don't know. I don't know if it's been released or not. He was on Court TV maybe yesterday. I'll send you the link. But essentially he knows for a fact through his whistleblower, that he speaks of, is that both girls were naked when they were found. And they found their clothes upstream.
They were south. The clothes were south of them, I believe. That was in the probable cause search warrant.
Yeah, downstream, I guess. But they did find the clothes, and he has a picture. I guess he has 4 pictures. And Court TV said that they weren't going to show the pictures out right now until they were validated. So take that with it, with what it is. But he did pretty good. He was on there with like 3 other people. I don't know if they were investigators or who they were. But it was a good interview, And I guess, he has a lot to say about John Benet Ramsey's case too. I don't know. I'm just curious to know what he has to say about it.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think that he at least waited till the probable cause search warrant was out before he at least went on there to talk about that, which is good. I would prefer that. Because we did learn in that their clothes were found separately from them. And that's something they hadn't disclosed to the public until we got that information. So then more currently, horrible case in Texas, 2 days ago, where a 7-year-old girl was abducted by their FedEx driver, and her body was found a few days later. It's
But that's the
pretty.
problem, is that you can get a job and be the biggest piece of shit nowadays because everybody's fucking wanting to be inclusive and accepting and blah, blah, blah. And
Or
so
just because
everybody's hiring
everybody's
the
short.
biggest dirtbags, and everybody's short. It's freaking, it blows my mind. The kind of people that are getting hired these days for certain jobs. I'm just like, what the fuck?
Well, they found her body I guess they found her body a couple days ago. Whenever it happened, they found her body just a couple days later. All signs point to she was probably murdered within an hour of being taken from her home, and it kills me. I mean, I always have, when my kids were little like that, don't talk, don't be in the driveway if we have different people, but they're outside playing, you go inside, and it's that time of year, FedEx and Amazon and UPS, everybody's just in and out of all these driveways, and you often get used to the same one that comes to your house, right? Like, I mean, I've left little treats out for me because you have the same one every year, or, on your route. It's horrible. But the guy who did it has actually been apprehended and confessed to the murder. I mean, there's not really a whole day about it. He's fully confessed and behind bars, I think, on like $1.5 million bond or something.
Really, that's it? A really good friend of mine, it's really sad, got drunk last weekend and drove home and got in a car accident and killed somebody. Very, very sad. It happened the same day I broke my arm. And matter of fact, I'm taking his mugshot and taping it to my speedometer because, I mean, the guy is salt of the earth, a good guy. He's not a party animal. Owns 2 side businesses. His wife owns a small business, and just, I mean, everybody in the community knows him, loves him. He's not known for that kind of behavior. It was small business weekend, and they were celebrating their small businesses, and I think he just had one too many. And he drove home and he drifted left of center and hit a car head on at 8:40 p.m. And it killed it killed the driver, and his wife's still in critical condition. Very sad. But they gave him a $1 million bond as well and charged him with second-degree homicide. And I get that. But I would hope that this dude who kidnapped a 7-year-old and then fucking did whatever he did with her and killed her an hour later, I'm hoping that his bond is more than $1.5 million.
I could be wrong. I read on that case quickly today while I was doing some other things. I could be wrong on the bond amount. Or I can tell you right now.
And I'm glad I got to tell that story today, not to be a Debbie Downer, but please, over the holidays, guys, Jesus, call a friend, call an ex-girlfriend, call a mom, a dad, a priest, call somebody to come get your ass. Don't kill somebody on the holidays because you had too much eggnog, or because you're too depressed because Sally Jesse left you, or whatever the fucking circumstances is, man. Don't take somebody else's life because of your stupidity. Call fucking somebody, please. Because it's the saddest thing. I know his wife, I know his children, and not a minute goes by that I don't think about it every single day. I mean, today I even commented about how pretty the sky looked, and I was like, gosh, man, Kevin, I don't want to say the guy's name, but he's not going to see that sky for a very long time. It just breaks my heart. And I wish I could have been around to give him a ride, but please learn from that and call somebody, please. Don't call Dead Leg Media. He only has one fucking leg. I would not get in a car with Dead Leg Media. I know he says it in the chat.
It's still not true.
Call him up. Not going to do that.
He has 2. He still has 2.
Yeah, but one of them's like dead.
He still has 2.
Okay.
It's nerve issues. It's not. That was a fun pun on his leg.
I'll
ride with him.
And I will ride with
it is, by the way,
just dropped us freaking $10.
He keeps telling us to keep fighting, and at first that sounded motivating, and now I'm a little concerned. It is a $1.5 million bond, by the way. I just looked that up.
Gosh, dude, that doesn't seem like enough, man. Fuck that guy. No, it is enough. Let him bond out so I can fucking, if it's my daughter, like let him bond out for $500. Let him get out so I can have my peace with him. Yep. I just feel like that's not a lot of time, right?
Money, yeah.
What
about you guys? Somebody, can we interact with the chats? Is that weird for just our listeners?
Fucking, it's Christmas season, dude. Go ahead, Mindbender. Don't waste the electric. Use a wood chipper while he wears his FedEx uniform. 100%, dude. Like, we all love that movie Castaway. All got it's pumped up by FedEx. So put the dude in the wood chipper, and then we can all go watch Castaway right after. Or do the FedEx Air and just drop him out on the same island.
The best part of Castaway, the best scene in Castaway is when he uses that ice skate to knock that molar out.
Oh, I got up and walked out this last time I watched it.
Wood chipper for sure.
Teresa says, "Hey guys."
Hey Teresa.
Hey guys.
It's Teresa Brittany, here. Have you had that baby yet?
Oh God, we had somebody pregnant in here.
Brittany.
Who is Dmitry Litvusk? Feet first in the wood chipper, and hold his hands to prolong the experience.
Ugh, gross.
Be my luck that he won't let go of my hands, and then I get drug into the damn thing. No body, no crime. Mur 530 says, still don't know if Mur is a dude or a chick. Silamander 2.0. I have a large backyard and shovels. This show just got fucking
dark.
And I keep
that
needs to be a movie, right?
Yeah, I keep thinking that there's not we're just thinking on some of the bigger cases.
Fucking you dark son of a bitch. Listen to this. I'd like to practice my tourniquets on the guy. Keep him alive for as long as possible while slicing pieces off. Oh, geez. I thought I was dark. You need Jesus, Clark. Goodness gracious. Wrong with you. It's not the Christmas spirit.
Y'all are creeping me out now. Yeah, but there's not really updates going on. Everything else is just kind of status quo. Like Murdaugh, his stuff kind of got pushed back for a minute. Who else we got? Not Delphi, excuse me. Dylan Rounds. Still nothing really moving forward on that.
Still?
No, I mean the last thing.
Anything on that.
Well,
I was
think
really
there's some
wrong
things.
on that.
The last thing we heard though was that we thought he spoke with grandmother last on the phone, like at 6 a.m. that the morning of his death, and told her, that there was impending rain and he needed to get the grain truck back into the right. And then we find out later they've let us know that in fact the last guy he spoke with was that James Brenner, I believe his name is, the one who they called that they called a squatter but lived on the property there. So he actually talked to him after he talked to grandmother, and Dylan's phone was found in the pond on the property. They didn't tell us that initially. So there's a lot of things that are starting to trickle out.
We've always thought
we
it was
as
James
the public
Brenner.
didn't know.
I mean, we've always thought it's James Brenner. And James is James still in custody? I believe so.
Yeah, because he was a felon who they found a firearm on, so they were able to kind of hang him up on that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Davey, I'm sorry. Hang on, this is very important. Okay. This has been a problem for him. He found some brisket in Nashville, hole in the wall. Ed Lazy. Yes. Good job, Davey. I knew you had.
If you go to Nashville, and you're not going to Big Black Terry's. You're missing out.
I don't think that's what it's called.
Fucking or Terry Black's. Sorry, Terry Black's. Not Big Black Terry's. Terry Black's best chicken. What is it? Nashville chicken? Is that what they call that?
So here's what. Can I get on a rant for a moment?
Fucking let's go. It's Christmas. That's what you girls do at Christmas.
Terry Black. Isn't that in Austin, Eric? Are you thinking of Austin? He says
no, Terry
it's not
Black's
in Nashville. Is there a Terry Black's in Nashville too? Okay.
I thought Terry Black's in Nashville was where they have the Nashville chicken.
No, Hattie B's is in Nashville.
Oh, maybe Terry Black's.
Terry Black's is barbecue, I think, and I think it's in Austin. Okay. I will say that grew up in that area, and that was not a thing. Like hot chicken, or I'm not saying hot chicken. It wasn't like Nashville hot chicken. Like none of that was. Nobody thought about it. This is um what is the word I'm thinking? The hipsters and whatnot. Like I'm telling you, that whole Hattie B's, it is fantastic. If you're there, go. It's fantastic. But it was a hole in the wall. And so good for them for doing so well.
It's still a hole in the wall, though. I just ate there.
It's a hole in a wall that's become a tourist destination. So while you could go on your lunch break or at dinner to grab a little sandwich and not wait for 2 hours, you can't do that now. So like the same people who turned PBR from $1 beer somewhere to like a $6 something because it's cool has done this to hot chicken. I'm telling you, growing up there, you didn't. Someone else speak up. If someone knows, if you're from there, you know, it wasn't a thing for years. That wasn't, and now it's all, you know, whatever.
I know. And somebody in the chat's already brought it up that we know that, you know, it's a touchy subject for Andrea because, you know, it's the competitor's chicken. She works for Hooters. So she thinks Hooters chicken sandwiches are the best. You know, she's like, you know, fuck Hattie B's.
So gross.
Tina's got the best chicken over here at Hooters in Wilmington. There is a Hooters in Wilmington. I just learned.
Yes.
My kids went to that skate contest and they were like, Hooters. When we drove by, I was like, you guys are insane. We're not going to fucking Hooters. We're not going to fucking Hooters.
Usually
PBR
like
is
either
big piss. Fuck you, Jay Galtz. Fuck you and your grapes. PBR is America's beer. It's red, white, and blue. And I drink it every 4th of July. It goes perfect with hot dogs and chili and fireworks. And if you don't like it, that means you don't like America. If you don't like America, then fuck you.
And Drew says mead is acceptable if you have a chalice.
Chalice is something that's true story. Sounds like I wear in the bedchambers to woo my wife.
Look, I'm going to show you guys. Can I show them?
Hash cats? You're Russian? Sounds Jewish. We allowed to say that? Sounds Jewish? Is that racist now?
No, you can say Jewish. What is the question? Oh my gosh.
It says, how many Russians are here? Slava Rasi. Which I think was more of my Spanish accent than my Russian.
Where do you hail from, Eric?
What do you mean, where do I hail from?
Your people. Who are your people?
Ireland. My dad's name is Darby Tansey.
Where in Ireland?
Roscommon.
I think I'm a terrorist. I'm from Belfast, I think.
We know that you're a terrorist, to be honest with you.
Look, so I talked to Jonathan and today, in fact, and he said this wasn't his favorite of all the ones he's drawn up, but it is my favorite. So we want to put this. Can y'all see that?
Yeah, I like Nightshift. Good night, y'all. But like, guns up, giddy up is still our slogan. Why wouldn't it just say
we
like
can
giddy up or guns?
Can I thought you said do some things for the night shift show.
I know.
So
I don't know if I like. I love the logo. I love everything about it. I just don't know if I like good night, y'all. Mainly because I hate the word y'all.
Well, then you don't have to buy that shirt.
No, but I want that shirt because it's got the Vans logo and I'm the skate dad.
Well, then we can do one that says guns up, giddy up. We can do both.
Say guns up and giddy up. You can just say like giddy up or guns up or Hooters.
Okay. We can do one that does both, Eric.
Just good night, y'all sound so trashy.
That's what sounds trashy. Have you been to any of our shows and the things that come out of your mouth? And that's the part that sounds trashy. That's what does it for you. That's what puts you over the top. All right. Were you here for your own ad read earlier?
I like that ad read. I worked hard on that one. Dude, I'm going to look so good on Christmas. My shaved jingle balls. I'll send you a picture. I'm going to do like a special manscaping for Christmas. Basically,
Drew
like
said what app created that pube.
It's going to be like a snowman out of my pubes. So it's like a shave around all my pubes, but it just looks like a snowman.
I think we're done.
Fucking done, dude. Fuck this show. It's over. Oh man, for another night shift. Hopefully, I've kept you guys awake. Some people are like, "Why do you guys drag it on?" You know why? Because first responders have a 12-hour shift and they want the entertainment to just go on and on and on. So when they get back from that domestic violence call and they want to put their 45 in their mouth and blow their fucking brains out into the back of the squad car, they don't have to do that because they can get a little laugh, a little cheer out of us. They look forward to this. We're basically preventing law enforcement suicide every second. Every second that we talk, one less person commits suicide. That's a lot of people when you do the math.
I'm not putting that on us.
Yeah. Every time we talk, hundreds of people don't kill themselves.
Ooh, Davey has an idea. What about you shave a mullet?
Into my pubes? Because I manscape like pretty often.
Nope.
Oh, you're talking about like just give myself a mullet? I would do it 100%, but my wife said I would not get another bee jibber until it's fixed. So she's like, you want to do a mullet for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, however long you can go without a jibber. Keep it. But there will be no bee jibs until the mullet is gone. So
I again am sorry I asked.
I can't go minutes without that. You know that, Andrea. You know I can't go without that for very long.
Okay.
Who can? That's the perks of being married.
Yeah.
It was actually in our contract. I was a prenup.
Contract? Did you get a contract drawn up when you got married?
Like, my prenup says that you have to give me bee jibs every other day.
Mario Lopez.
Damn, Mario Lopez. $10, $100.
No,
Jesus,
$100.
Serious? All right, listen. If we get to $1,000 in super chats, we'll count that 100. We'll count that by Christmas, by the Christmas episode. I'll fucking shave a mullet. It's gotta be $1,000. I mean, 10 of you. That means 100 of you have got to drop $10. So talk it out amongst yourselves.
Dateslav says, "Is he still high?" That's a great question.
For $1,000, I'll shave my mullet, and Andrea will show your collarbone.
Yes,
you can show your collarbone for $1,000.
I'm doing it currently.
No,
we want mullet. Yes, that's a great idea. Well, guys, that was a great show.
Well, we want cash, so win-win for everybody. My kids want to go to Woodward. She likes the cut of your chip. Oh gosh! All right, that was fun. $100.
That was fun.
That was a good show.
If there is, true,
you did good tonight.
If there is, whenever we have more updates, I'll definitely put that up about this one. I think that I hope that in the coming days we'll have get more information. But
oh shit!
We'll see. Yeah, definitely hit the like button, guys.
There's like 93 of you watching this thing live, and we're not even fucking doing a show right now, and you're still watching it. Like, just hit the like button, or hit the subscribe button, and go to our Instagram and follow it.
We won't call you at home. We won't bother you about your car. Just hit like.
Might do all those things if you're lucky. I mean, if you're listening to this, they're the ones that want to talk to that person that's trying to get them on their student loans. Hey, how are you doing? Just wanted to talk to you. Just how's your family? And they're like, we just want to know if we can help you out on your student loans. Well, do you have any kids? Sometimes I just get so lonely in this house.
You can hit like without paying money.
Yeah, Murph 530 doesn't cost any fucking money to hit the like button, you cheap fuck. And go leave us a review. Oh my gosh, yes, please go to iTunes and leave us a review. For the love of everything that's holy, please go to iTunes. We have significantly dropped off on the iTunes charts because we quit promoting. We used to be on the iTunes charts like every fucking week. But the iTunes charts weighs greatly on reviews. Yeah. So we stopped asking for reviews. We stopped getting reviews, and therefore we started slowly dropping off the iTunes charts. But January 1st, dude, we're all in on going back. We're going all back in on getting ourselves back on those charts. So we make a lot of runs at the iTunes charts. and just being better podcasters and with better equipment and all the other things.
So Brian
dude,
Travis just
fucking
gave $10.
$110, dude.
Yeah.
Slowly going. As soon as we get to 1,000 on the mullet, however many shows it takes, I'll shave the mullet. Salamander's calling out Murr for not hitting the like button. All right, guys. Hey, we love you guys, and we appreciate you guys. Tomorrow I'm going to be live for Last Call. It's going to be a hoot. Next week I have Brandon Tatum's wife on, Corinne Tatum. A huge fan of her.
Oh,
We
yay.
messaged back and forth quite a few times. And I've just always been a fan of the shit that she puts out, her family values. And so that is going to be like one of the best Christmas gifts ever. Is I've already been on an episode with Brandon Tatum, which is a dream come true. But behind every great man is an even greater woman. And so, you know, I'm excited to be on there with her, talk about how she deals with old B Tatum and what he's like in real life behind the scenes and what it's like raising kids in this crazy environment, being the, you know, super big influencers that they are. And it's going to be great. Jonathan Com Center just sent me $1.69. Does that mean I now owe you $268 instead of the $270 that I previously owed you for back pay on some shit? Just kidding. Everybody's getting paid, by the way, tomorrow. So Elijah, producer, everybody, I broke my arm, fell a little bit behind on writing the checks, but everything's out. Everybody should have in their accounts tomorrow. Great episode, gang. Great job as always, Andrea and Eric. Meh. Channing Tate, yum. All right, Reginald. All right, I'm failing on that one. I'm a Channing Tatum guy. Guys, until next time, guns up. Giddy up.
Good night, y'all.
Hey, yo.